Buses, trains, planes, cars, and ferries flew and charted me to 9 cities and 4 countries over 5 weeks. I saw the sunset on an ancient wonder created by an indigenous empire. I danced with people in a celebration hid from its colonizers. I saw species of plants and animals that only exist on remote, tiny islands. I saw 12 volcanoes and 7 waterfalls. I ziplined on sketchy lines over the jungle canopy. But I don't know how much I could have learned from any of these experiences without the people I met along the way. And I learned so much in such a short time. I'm left blank. Here is my best try at telling you about the things I learned and the people I connected with. I landed in Quito after a week in Peru. After 4 years of teaching, I couldn't believe how nervous I was here in Ecuador to teach on the first day. I had to taxi to a new place in a language I wasn't proficient in. And well, after entering the wrong school and being redirected across the street, I was able to meet Fernanda, my new co-teacher. She's an amazing woman, the kind people write poems about or some painters create masterpieces based off of. She's fiery, artistic, funny, brilliant, and I had a blast learning about Ecuador and the school from her. I had expected a school to be like my research. I'm a special educator, and I was dreading the mistreatment of students with special needs and the negative impacts on those students who were LGBT. But I had arrived at a unique place. A place where students with mild to severe disabilities were included. A liberal shelter for families who were gay or whose children were gay. And I was so proud to have entered this little artistic school, which felt more like a safe haven for families than an institution of learning. Community comes first at Americana Latina. In Ecuador, students come first culturally. So raising your hand or saying miss or misses, they aren't things that will be common practice. The students' feelings matter most. And in this new pyramid of values, I found myself lost in another language and bewildered at first. But I soon realized that different didn't have to be inherently wrong. As one friend put it to me, we hug and we kiss our kids. You can't. I'd die without this. And I knew this was true. The staff there wouldn't have it any other way. The kids call them, go to movies with them. The students write poems for them and speeches and cried on their last day. Kids wanted to be at school. Although not every moment was filled with standard-based learning, those which weren't academic learning were social. The kids were kinder to themselves, their teachers, and each other, and I can't disagree with the results. After reflection, I guess I'd always wish for a kind student before I'd wish for an achiever. While I was in Ecuador, the child separation policy and impact were at their height. Teachers called their families and cried in lounges, worrying about their nieces, nephews, and friends. And they couldn't help but imagine each student being in a cage. The impact of this event on people all over the world, especially the Latin world, was powerful. And to be in Ecuador during it, it was a huge eye-opener. Globally, we impact each other. Our cultures, though different, are connected by the way we love our families and our communities. And at the end of the day, there was so much more that we had in common and to admire than there was a discomfort or difference. No matter how bias or bigotry progresses in any country, there's always a community fighting within that country. There's always academics and artists fighting for good. And in this, I felt overwhelmed by what I didn't know, but whole. Whole because no matter where people come from, we all could be held together by a desire for a better world, a fair world. And the success of a small school in Ecuador matters. We're all so interconnected, now more than ever. And this is what I learned, how to be in a global community and how to value it. MLK said it best when he said, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. We are everlasting debtors to known and unknown men and women. We do not finish breakfast without being dependent on more than half of the world. When we arise in the morning, we go into the bathroom where we reach for a sponge which is provided for us by a specific islander. We reach for soap that is created for us by a Frenchman. The towel is provided by a Turk. Then at the table we drink coffee, which is provided for us by the South American, or tea by a Chinese, or cocoa by the West African. Before we leave for our jobs, we are beholden to more than half of the world.